With Ghana potentially entering a new financial boom, I'm taking a look at the documentary by CNBC Africa that you have to go and watch after this video. But first, let's just start with a brief background on the foundations of Ghana and how it became the country it is today. So Ghana was the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence. It was in 1949 when Kwame Nkrumah set up the Convention People's Party in opposition to British rule, organising peaceful protests and general disruption of the acts of the British authorities. For this, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison, but while serving his sentence, he was actually elected into the Ghanaian parliament and was subsequently released. A year later, in 1952, he would go on to become the Prime Minister of what was then still the Gold Coast. Improving the infrastructure, he would ultimately see Ghana through into independence on the 6th of March 1957. In total, there have been 5 presidents of the Republic of Ghana, and they've each built on the legacy left by the previous president, helping to secure Ghana not only as politically stable, but also financially stable. And this brings us nicely onto the documentary Ghana, Africa's Greatest Star. Because in the documentary we hear that a major reason Ghana is expected to undergo this economic boom is the political stability of the country. It's cited as one of the most eye-catching things for potential investors as Ghana looks to continue to develop and grow economically. We see a number of CEOs and managing directors of some of Ghana's biggest industries, including hotels, petroleum companies, oil and gas companies. There's almost a sense of unity and pride from them that they can be part of this next phase in the future of Ghana. Now, obviously, profits will always be the most important thing to those people at the top. So I think it's very important to keep a close eye on what's really going on. Look, if we're to take the documentary at face value, then what we're seeing is foreign investors looking to support the existing economy and help the country to thrive. But it's worth keeping in mind what seems to happen all too often. The ultimate goal of these huge businesses has historically been to exploit nations and strip them of their resources, and obviously pocket the profits. Now, I'm going to discuss corruption a little bit later in this video, but for now I just want to focus on what we learn from the documentary. So let's take a look at the industries that have the potential to make Ghana a very wealthy nation. One thing that can't be disputed is that Ghana is such a rich nation in terms of its natural resources. There is a booming sustainable energy industry, both onshore and offshore, looking to provide affordable energy to all. And there's also a new drive to uncover rich sources of oil and gas within Ghana that could also help propel them financially to the next level. With everything we hear about the survival of the planet, it's easy to think that these methods of powering a nation are somewhat limited, but businesses over there are also investing heavily in solar energy, which of course has pretty much limitless potential. So with all of these options open, there's no reason why Ghana couldn't become the world's center for energy resources, and there's a lot of optimism for this. I mentioned the energy that they're producing will be affordable, which in theory is very believable. When there's such an incredible amount of energy available that's now being harnessed, it would make sense that the prices will be lower, because the demand is obviously always high for energy, but the supply in Ghana has the potential to be even greater, which obviously drives down the price. This of course raises the minimum standard of living for the consumers, but also provides tons of jobs for the people of the country. Manufacturing. For me, this was one of the most reassuring parts of the documentary because you can see the immediate impact it would have on the people of any country. They've introduced what is known as the one district, one factory policy. So basically, there are 260 districts in Ghana, and this policy ensures that every single one of them has at least one factory contributing to the manufacturing of goods that will be ultimately exported across the continent and across the world. By introducing initiatives like these, it does feel like the government is committed to securing Ghana's future as an industrial and financially independent country with its citizens able to earn a decent living. Real estate. We all know how lucrative the real estate industry is. Well, that's also thriving in Ghana, particularly in Accra. Of course, the capital city of any country usually attracts the most foreign attention, and with some world-class architecture, Ghana is developing modern, efficient and high-end property available to buy and to rent. This of course encourages more financially blessed people to come and settle in Ghana, and communities are being developed which are only going to increase in value. Just a little side note here, I'm born and raised in London. I've spent my whole life here, so if there's one thing I know, it's that converting a city into what is now almost entirely luxury apartments does make it more and more difficult for your normal everyday person to survive. So no doubt this move will help to change the way Ghana is viewed on a global scale, but I'm more interested in what it means for the people who already call it their home. Because when we're talking about large scale regenerations, these are the people who usually get forgotten about. Gold. Now when Ghana was under British rule, it was known as the Gold Coast for a reason. Today it has 10 million ounces of gold reserves that haven't even been touched yet. So aside from everything else I've mentioned in this video, the gold reserves alone have the potential to completely change the country. Obviously, again, if the money is going to the right people. Okay, now on to the potential for corruption. Obviously, I've expressed my doubts about the integrity of people at the very top, especially when such large sums of money are involved. There isn't a country in the world where corruption doesn't play some sort of role in political and business affairs. And when it comes to the way businesses operate, there's a lot of dissatisfaction amongst the Ghanaian public about cases of bribery and extortion, whether it's business CEOs, politicians, high court judges, a lot of which has actually come to light thanks to the hard work of one anonymous journalist known as Anas Arameo Anas, who goes undercover exposing illegal dealings of some powerful people. In one investigation, he actually took down 13 high court judges, 20 lower court judges, and 19 registrars and interpreters. There's honestly so much this guy has uncovered, and I think it's crucial that we have people like Anas to almost oversee all of this financial stuff, to really make sure that people are being taken care of. To be honest, when you look into some of the work he's done, I think that we could all do with someone like Anas holding people to account. So Ghana is currently ranked 73rd out of 180 in the rankings for global corruption. Now this is according to Transparency International, but although they are what you might regard as the official source, it's certainly one that I'm not taking at face value, and also I would urge you not to. Just having a look through some of the other rankings of different countries, there just seems to be quite a strong Western bias, which is hardly surprising given that it's funded largely by Western governments and companies which have actually been convicted of corruption themselves. So I think it's more than fair to question the accuracy of this information. Now just to be clear, I'm not saying that Ghana is way more corrupt than the numbers suggest, nor am I saying that it's squeaky clean. It's just interesting when you dig into some of these official sources, you find all sorts of biases. But just from doing some general research, it does seem that Ghana is one of the least corrupt countries in Africa. So maybe there is some potential for people to actually reap the benefits of this new wave of innovation. I guess only time will tell. There's also a booming banking sector, which aims to provide support for small businesses in the ever-growing digital economy. They also mention the strength of the healthcare system, although the specific aim of that is that everybody in corporate Ghana is healthy and fit and gets access to healthcare. Now maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that doesn't sound like a move which benefits everybody. I don't know, I could be wrong. The tagline for this channel is changing perceptions, and this documentary will certainly do that. Is it a puff piece? Well, it does focus heavily on highlighting the great potential of Ghana, and it does make a point of highlighting the welfare of the people on the ground, the everyday people just trying to make a living. Now, I've got no doubts, as I've said, that all of this wealth will only be a good thing for the country in terms of its position on the world stage. But whether or not that will trickle down to the people is something that will have to be watched very, very closely. And people like Anas are certainly going to be there holding people to account. If you enjoyed this video, please do check out some of my other videos on the channel. And if you think there's another country that I should be looking into, make sure you stick it in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.